Well, 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 if it isn't so. This is Terrence Kyle with MTAC Roofing Systems, doing a roof inspection for Britton and Kylie. First thing I'm looking for up here is basically the overall condition of the shingle. Looking for storm-related damage. That could be hail, that could be wind. Generally on an architectural shingle, you see that there's more hail impact than there is wind impact because this is basically a wind-resistant shingle. So I've taken a look at the shingle. I haven't seen any signs of hail damage. The only sign that I have seen is you got some soft metal damage up here. So I start marking up your soft metal and it honestly looks like it came from this way. Now that's kind of weird because this direction is southwest. Generally hail will move through the southwest. It generally never comes from the opposite, but on this particular roof, it does look like it came from this way right here. And the reason I can tell is because there's impact on the top, impact on the bottom right, and then all across this, you've got the biggest being probably about dime size to nickel size, the smallest being smaller than a BB. So I've looked over the shingle. The shingle looks like it could be anywhere from 9 to 12 years old. I could be wrong, but I could be right. Anyways, other things that I'm looking for is exposed nail heads, chipping paint, stuff like that is pretty important to me, rusting components. And then I'll check any soft metal for damage. And as you can tell, this one's a little more firm, but you're still seeing some little hits, bigger hit right there. So then I'll start looking at the ridge cap shingles. If these ridge cap shingles don't show hail damage, then generally the shingle did not get impacted by the hailstorm. And as you can tell, there's no hits across the hip and ridge. If I look very closely, I might be able to find one or two. However, it's just, I'm not seeing it. If it was up here, you would see it. So the next thing I'm looking for is just minor problems, things that happen with roofs over time. You can see that this nail was never hit fully in, and the temperature change, when it gets hot, it gets cold, what you start seeing happen is those nails will start pulling out. I'll hit that in before I leave. Another thing that I've seen up here is rusted nail heads. You can tell at one point this was sealed up. However, after 10, 15 plus years, the sealant wears off, that nail starts rusting. Once it's up here for so long rusted, it'll start deteriorating or it'll pull out, leaving an exposed hole, which could lead to water intrusion. Oh, let's see. We got some more nail pops up here. Another thing that I've seen is your flashing. So there's a nail right here, nail right here, nail right here, nail right here, nail right here. They're all sealed. However, if you look at it, they're pulling out. So before I leave today, I'll just go ahead and hit these back in. I don't have any sealant on me, but you'd rather be safe than sorry. I'd rather hit this in than to just leave it like it is, because what happens is water can run down the side, get to that nail. Once it pulls out, it's out for good. Same thing going on this side. I'll go ahead and hit these down. You can see that nail's completely backed out. What happens when a nail's backed out is water will eventually get to that hole, leading water to get into the side inside the home. More exposed nail heads. Common problems if they're not sealed up. You see these are sealed right here. That's why they're not rusted. No UV color on this one. There is a UV color on this one. However, you can tell that someone did a repair up here, and you're never supposed to face nail a shingle. I don't recommend it. And this right here just shows me that something was done inferior. And if you're ever sealing components up like that, something's wrong. There was one more thing I wanted to point out. It's this front issue. We've spoke about this, Britton. Reason why this happened is if I step on it, it does go back down. This is probably just a high rafter and the decking is actually backing up off of it, which is causing it to push up. That's why when I push down on it, it will go back down. But once I push all the way down, I can still feel that there is some tension, something keeping it up. It's probably a piece of decking and that rafter's just raised up a little higher than all the other ones. If I had to guess, you know, it's an older home. It's gonna happen. Pipe boot right there, looks to be okay. Exposed nail head. Then there was one more nail pop. This is called a nail pop. When a nail comes through the shingle, it'll pop out. That's why they call it a nail pop. Anyways, Britton, Kylie, I'm gonna close this inspection out. I did not see a whole lot of hail. I'm gonna recommend calling insurance and filing a second claim on the last hailstorm we had. I'll get down, send this video over, and we'll go from there.